picture this. The band on the Titanic is playing their songs while the ship is sinking. They're not doing it out of denial. They're doing it out of duty, and they play gracefully until, I don't know, the water is up here. I'm working with a gentleman who works in an industry that is dying. And this gentleman has worked his way up in a quite impressive way and has a quite impressive career. And he has been useful his entire life. Obviously, this is something that we haven't worked out in the first session, so we obviously needed a few sessions to understand this. But he has, even in childhood, been a good boy, been useful, being helpful, helping mom and dad, doing little jobs here and there, being reliable, being proud of being useful, and being proud of getting shit done. So this little boy is now in his, I think, late 50s, mid-late 50s, and he has a position, leadership position in a dying industry. Now, they already had, I think, 4 or 5 rounds of golden handshakes. That's when they lay you off and they pay you, in his case, a quite significant amount of money. We're talking, like very, very, very significant. More than $100,000. And he goes to work every morning and he does what he's good at. He makes use of himself. He helps other people. They have changed his role to something that is extremely frustrating for him because they don't know what to do with him and probably other senior guys. And instead of sitting there and sharpening his pencil all day long, he tries to make use of himself. He helps other people, younger colleagues. He goes out of his way and finds work for himself. Now, let's imagine these higher up managers, they have their meetings and they sit there on their beautiful, nice mahogany table drinking expensive sparkling water and discussing who they can discharge next. I think it probably won't be him because he makes so good use of himself. On the other hand, he still has a few years left in his career and there's still fuel in the tank and he still wants some challenges and he would like to do something new. He would like to use his skills and feel good again and go to work and, I don't know, bring this skill set into something where it's useful instead of sitting there sharpening his pencil all day long. Now with him, I worked out a metaphor and I think it worked quite well. Obviously, he has never played in the band that played on the Titanic, but he can imagine this. And so we used an imaginary or fantasized experience that resonates with him emotionally. We have a higher priority allocated to something that is probably a little bit against his values. And I can totally relate to this. And we even joked about it and said, let's imagine like you and I are on the Titanic, both hands-on guys, both self-made guys, both guys that kind of want to be useful. And yeah, we're playing in that band and the ship is sinking, but we're not helping old ladies into the rescue boats or children or something like that. We play our instruments and that would be extremely difficult. So we worked with that metaphor, and it was quite beautiful to see his shift, his mindset changing, and he could actually see that his autopilot is the problem. Like his autopilot is forcing him to be useful, which is childhood, which is like his entire upbringing. He has been a good kid. He has made use of himself. He has been supportive, and people could rely on him. He has to throw all this overboard now and be useless, right? And the only way that this actually worked was to find a metaphor that we can tap into and use for him as a frame to be useful again.